Hey, Steve, how you doing today?
Great. How you guys doing?
Not too bad. Thanks for joining us. Do you mind kind of running through how last week played out for you guys? What you guys got to do? Win the game. It looked like the games are going to be uh, postponed.
Yeah, it was obviously a very, very fluid situation all the way through. Even prior to the storm coming in, our university had made the decision we were shutting down campus from Sunday at 5 until Tuesday at noon. We had a volleyball game that Sunday, so I was watching volleyball. And we wanted to bring our guys in and get a little shooting in that afternoon just in case. I didn't mind missing Monday. I was afraid, what would happen, oh my gosh, if we would miss Monday and Tuesday. So we tried to bring our guys in. The weather was already starting to get a little bad, and I could tell the administration was a little uncomfortable with that. So we just made that optional. And by the time I left here at 5:15 Sunday, things were starting to get bad, and I was kind of glad we kept it optional. And then it didn't matter. We had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all that canceled. So we were still doing as much conversation as we could, trying to figure out if we could play. Were we going to be able to get there? Could we push the games back an extra day instead of Friday, Saturday, play Saturday, Sunday? Mike Hill, their AD, was working with us and with Dr. Campos, and we tried everything we could to pull it off, and in the end, we just couldn't get there. So, it was a little disappointing. We wanted to play. We were feeling good. We on a pretty good roll right now. We wanted to go down there and play, and we just couldn't make it happen. So. We waited until Friday, and then we were able to get a practice in on Friday and Saturday, and then took Sunday off, and now tried to get back into our normal routine this week.
Are these the last two games of the season for you guys? There's an open week, but Charlotte has a scheduled game those weeks.
Yeah, correct. We again, everything is a possibility at this point. The chances of us playing Charlotte, I think, are slim and none. The extra week that's built in for COVID makeup, they already had to fill for COVID makeup. So we can't play them the following weekend. So that'll create a pretty weird situation for us. We will go, I believe, 24 days with only 2 games, these UAB games in that window there, which is less than ideal. So we're still trying to see if we can figure out something next week, see if we can schedule a game or two. I'd really prefer to not go such a long span with only 2 games in there, but at this point, it looks like as of right now, these UAB games will be our last regular season games.
How have the guys looked in these recent practices? Is rust a factor for you guys?
You know what? I came in with pretty low expectations on Friday and Saturday, and it was probably a good thing because we weren't very sharp. It's amazing how hard you work and how highly conditioned guys are, but that many days off, and to come back after we played games Friday and Saturday, and for some guys, that don't get many minutes, those are pretty light days. So the week before, Friday and Saturday were game days. Then we were off almost entirely Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we were not real sharp on Friday. We were not real good on Saturday either, but we accomplished what we needed to. And, we set up a practice that just allowed us to get up and down the floor, get some conditioning, a lot of skill work, nothing real specific for UAB at that point. But I came away from it, even though they weren't the most intense practices. I came away from it feeling like we accomplished what we needed to on those 2 days. And then Monday had a really good one. Tuesday had maybe the best practice we've had all year. The ball was moving. Our guys were locked in. I mean, it was so good that at one point I brought them in and we just stopped. I didn't know whether we should try to ride it out or work on something else, but ultimately decided to walk out of the gym feeling great yesterday, and then came in and had a pretty good one today.
Greg, go ahead.
Steve, were you guys prepared to play Charlotte with basically no practice time if it came down to it, or was that a scary prospect for you guys? What was that conversation like?
Yeah, we were going to play. Again, the longer it went, the more concerning that was. But if we felt like as long as we could get one practice in, we were going to go down there and play. It's a different year. So many variables in that situation. And there was a scenario where it looked like we may get one practice and then head there and play one game. They asked if we would be willing to go all the way there if we couldn't get both games in. And we said yeah, we would. But we just couldn't get it done.
Were you personally impacted by the power and the water outages at all? How did that hit you on an individual basis?
My wife and I were not. At our apartment, we had backup power. Everything was fine. We had no issues with water or power. My son and his wife and the grandbabies, they lost power and water, so they came and stayed with us. And we were all jammed in. Ended up being pretty cool, actually. We pumped up some air mattresses, and they stayed with us for 3 or 4 nights there. The real concerning part was on Monday and Tuesday when the power was going out all around here, and it was very, very uncomfortable for the coaches. It's an interesting feeling when you're so worried about your players in those situations. They're grown men, but yet we're still responsible for them. So I think my coaches got tired of me asking them if they were checking with our players. We tried to check on them nonstop, make sure everybody had what they needed. And administration did a good job. They had some backup plans ready for us. And, our guys made it through fine. But yeah, there was, I believe Monday night after my radio show, I drove through campus and went over and saw a couple guys on campus and the guys right across the street. And everything was black all around except campus. Dorms were fine. All the apartments were black and no power. And then Tuesday it was kind of off and on. So we had a lot of conversations. Juice was just worried. He didn't have Wi-Fi. I said, Juice, I'm not worried about Wi-Fi. You have heat and water. I don't care about Wi-Fi, but they needed to charge their phones and they needed some entertainment, I guess.
Yeah, talking to Javon, it sounded like he ended up moving in with somebody else for a couple of days, and they kind of found different ways to make it work. Were you impressed with sort of how they handled it and rolled with it?
Well, yeah, for sure. Again, most of our guys are going to figure it out, and they knew where to go and went with other teammates. Again, we had to be real careful. When something like this comes out, you're thinking kind of survival instincts, but you still had the COVID factors. So that was important that our guys, if they were going to do something different and go stay with someone else, that it was somebody else that was in our testing protocol, and they did a good job with that. And obviously we've tested since then, and tests have come back negatively.
And obviously this is going to be senior day for you guys. I'm wondering, what do you think the emotions are going to be like of that day with Keaton and Javon and all they've accomplished?
I don't know. I know that we're all proud of what they've accomplished, and I'll probably be as emotional as anybody, maybe with the exception of some of the family members. Javon and Keaton will probably be pretty stone-faced. That's kind of his MO anyway. Javon will be emotional, I think, but I think once the ball gets tipped, I think they'll play great. But it's unfortunate we can't have an arena full of fans to come and honor him in that regard. We're going to honor Phoenix. He's going to go through as well with them. So, but those guys have done a great job and been great ambassadors for our program. Keaton and Javon helped us turn this thing around, and got the attention of everybody around the country, around our league, and really proud of them. It's amazing the accomplishments they've had, and wish we could celebrate it in a more grand style, but we'll do the best we can with COVID.
Is it a little bit different from a typical year just because of that lingering possibility that they could be back for another season? How does that change kind of how you guys go through that day?
I think we'll go through it just as if it's going to be their last game, and we'll worry about it after that. But those guys right now, they're focused on continuing to play. We started talking about this weeks ago, that we had an opportunity to start winning games, to play better basketball. We knew at one point that we had 4 of our final 6 were going to be at home, that we could go into the conference tournament with some momentum. So they like that. Again, what we did yesterday in practice was really, really encouraging, just from different guys making plays, the ball moving. I think our guys are pretty locked in right now, and there's always that emotional piece on a senior night right before the game starts. But our guys are still planning on playing basketball for a while.
Have you started the conversation with them about next year at any point through the season? Is that a conversation that you guys have had?
Real brief. Yeah, real brief. And we all just kind of agreed that there was no reason to make any decisions other than just how it would affect recruiting. But we can deal with that at a later time. So we're gonna celebrate them and take advantage of every minute they're on the court with us. And we're moving forward as if they will not be back, but there is that possibility.
Yeah, you mentioned moving forward as if they will not be back. I guess that's like from the scholarship perspective, right? Because that becomes a whole different hurdle if they do decide to return. How do you guys have to navigate that part of it?
Yeah, we really haven't at this point, and we'll deal with it at the end. Again, my anticipation is they've accomplished so much, and I anticipate they're ready to move on. They love it here, and we're glad they do. And we love having them here, but they both have sights on winning a bunch more games here, and then go and playing professionally. So we haven't spent a lot of time on the details of what that would mean from scholarship numbers or anything like that.